When you arrive in Colonial Williamsburg in early December, you enter a holiday postcard come to life, where every street, every shop, every corner carries the warmth and wonder of the 18th century at Christmas time. All throughout the city, as cold wintry air whips at your face, passers-by bundled in warmth and curiosity set out to find the festive wonders of the city, beautifully decorated for the season. After another calendar year of telling stories from Virginia's historic triangle and beyond, it's the perfect time to reflect on all we've done, the places we visited, and the journeys that still lie ahead. It also marks the beginning of an annual end-of-year tradition in Williamsburg we've been so blessed to experience together for so many years now. A festive exploration that helps us discover the spirit of Christmas, both around us and within us. Easily done as you wander the main avenue, side streets, alleyways, and hidden hideaways where shops, taverns, outbuildings, and homes are adorned with some of Williamsburg's finest Christmas wreaths, crafted by the caretakers of this seasonal celebration that draws visitors from around the world to a city that loves Christmas. During a week that included wintry snowfall, watching a classic holiday film in the area's most historic theater, and a chance to store even more cold December moments in the reservoirs of our minds for later reminiscing, we once again set out to take a closer look at some of the vibrant Christmas wreaths hanging outside the colonial homes, doorways, and windows here. Each one a reminder of the people who once lived and worked behind them. Far from experts and not always certain of the names, trimmings, and pronunciations that make up each decoration, yet we're out and about again in search of our favorites. Come along with us on a fun visual journey throughout Colonial Williamsburg as we track down 12 of the city's captivating Christmas wreaths. And maybe even a bonus wreath thrown in for good measure. Although the day would see us visiting quite a few stops along the Duke of Gloucester Street, as well as other locations off Nicholson Street, our first destination was just across from Christiana Campbell's Tavern, George Washington's favorite place to eat and stay while in Williamsburg, as he recorded many times in his journals. In plain sight of the historic public house, the Presbyterian Meeting House's unique arrangement stood before us. All right, and directly across the street from Christiana Campbell's is the Presbyterian Meeting House, and easily spotted from a distance is the sacred cross that's fixed to the side of the building. What a great holiday tradition here, posting the cross. It looks like, is that magnolia leaves?
It almost looks like magnolia leaves that have been dyed, or they're very dark.
And then the circular base of the wreath looks like it's on some sort of a moss, but over top of that looks like a pine cone, maybe?
That looks very similar to what drops off of a magnolia tree. See this thing?
Okay.
See that? But it usually has here's a better one.
Yeah,
Like
so this must be a magnolia
but they're
tree.
mini,
Yeah.
and they fall off, and they've got seeds inside of them.
Okay. So the leaves of the cross are darkened magnolia leaves with its seeds surrounding the wreath.
And it looks like it's some sort of long-dried pea pod or sea pod behind those seashells.
Yeah, it does. Then I'm not sure if those are like if those are clam shells. Those aren't oyster shells, so those might be clam
Yeah, they
shells.
could be clam
Or
shells.
scallop.
Sometimes when wandering the city, history hides in plain sight and you don't even notice. For years, we assumed this building was just a bus stop, unaware of its true historical significance or that we could step inside.
And I'm not sure if it's decorated for the holidays, but let's go inside and have a look.
Curiosity got the better of us, and on a quick peek inside, we were even greeted by another festive decoration, adding a touch of holiday magic to our unexpected discovery. In 1765, this place received the blessing of the county court, and a small group of Presbyterians began gathering here to worship. Before the American Revolution, this meeting house and Bruton Parish Church not far from here stood as the only authorized places of worship in Williamsburg, marking it as a cornerstone of the city's early spiritual life. With many more wreaths to stumble upon and thrilled to have uncovered a new piece of history, we left excited for what was still to come. Said to be the place where the first newspaper to publish the full text of the Declaration of Independence was printed, this historic site is now marked to remind visitors that printers William Hunter and John Dixon once worked here printing and selling books and stationaries during the Revolution. This year, creativity was in full swing. The wreath on one of the shop's doors featured a mix of festive elements that reflected the printing work that happened here long ago and continues even today.
All right, and I really like this one. I like the centerpiece of the Declaration of Independence. You got all the headshots of the founding fathers, it looks like.
This one's so colorful too. They've really packed a lot into this
And it
one.
looks like some of the greenery, I think that's like cedar, and there's some, looks like some moss intermixed there, and lots of dried fruits, and I don't know if that's like a juniper or a winterberry.
Lots of dried citrus, and that almost looks like that. It's either golden or yellow yarrow. I think those yellow flowers kind of looks like cauliflower.
Yeah, we've been
almost.
seeing that a lot in different wreaths, especially this year. But it's also got that box of letter sets that was used in 18th century printing days, as well as a book press. And I even see some miniature booklets bundled together.
They've made little people out of acorn.
And even a box of trinkets, probably important for the printing trade way back in the day. So this one definitely has a lot of creative aspects to it, and it's just loaded full of elements that bring it to life. And look at this, Sarah. It's a little frame decoration on the bulletin board.
And I have no idea what these are. It almost looks like a little like sea urchin or something, but they've got tiny ones. I think that's like lichen moss. No, this I think is like lichen moss that grows on like trees and branches, but I'm not sure what those are, but I like them.
If anybody knows what these are, let us know. Each year we like to add to our vocabulary of organic elements found on Williamsburg wreaths, so help us out if you can. So a decorative bulletin at the printing office, along with other proclamations and newsprints from the 18th century. All right, come on, Sarah, let's see what else we can find on our holiday adventure in Williamsburg. 15 years running. We love looking at the wreaths found along Duke of Gloucester and some of the side streets and alleyways here, because tucked around every corner, it seems like there's something to be found and discovered and pondered upon.
Sitting along the south side of Francis Street, facing Capitol Square, is an old home that a 1932 architectural report noted had seen almost no alterations to its exterior and very few to its interior.
Yeah, what do we have here? So it looks like it's a evergreen base for the wreath with a little bit of grapevine branches around it, I see.
It looks like those little mini pomegranates. They have some shells, some citrus, those slit limes.
Yep, those are the decorative limes. And I definitely like the pine roping or the evergreen garland around the doorway.
Yeah, it's very inviting.
You see that in a lot of homes during the holidays here.
Built before 1782, the home's marker briefly notes that Colonel William Finney once lived here. He served as a quartermaster in the Southern Department of the Continental Army during the Revolution, and later held a brief term as mayor of Williamsburg.
But look at that door. Is that door not like revealing its age?
Well, it looks like that, but it also looks larger than usual, usual sized doors.
Yeah, with a huge door knocker. That has to be an original door.
Looking at the old door where the Christmas wreath hung, it's easy to see its age. The worn and weathered nature of the door reveals its history, and old records confirm that it's indeed the original front entrance.
Yeah, it's quite a good-looking wreath on Francis Street.
On the same property, directly beside the house, the kitchen outbuilding also sported a holiday arrangement that complemented the one found on the home's main door.
And over here beside the house is another wreath that looks like it matches the look of the one on the front door of the Finney house. Pretty much the same exact design, with all the same organic vegetation and the same evergreen wreath, and not exactly sure what the flower is in the center of it. Any idea what that is, sir?
I'm not really sure what that one was. It looks like it might be fuzzy, and I've seen it in other wreaths, but I'm not really sure what that one is.
But pretty much a clone of the one on the front doorway. So everything's seamless and looks good together.
It's always nice when they match.
Another fascinating holiday season discovery found on Francis Street. On the east end of Duke of Gloucester Street, right next to the Capitol, stands the old Public Records Office building, also known as the Secretary's Office of the Colony of Virginia. Inside Williamsburg's first Capitol building, the original Secretary's Office was once housed. When a fire destroyed the Capitol in 1747, a separate office was commissioned to safely store the colony's important documents. Each year, an impressive wreath is displayed on the building's double-door entrance. As we approached the old brick building, it quickly became clear that this year was no different.
And it always seems like they do two separate wreaths on each half of the door here.
And I really like when they match what the building is about with the wreath, like what goes on inside of there.
Yeah, you can see the quill and the ink pot, which would have been a definite tool you'd have to write all the important documentation and ledgers that they would keep inside this building.
Yeah, really important documents, because indicating that with those wax seals, they must have been really important records or documents that they would have been keeping.
Yeah. Signed and sealed by the Burgesses at the Capitol building.
We're still trying to figure out what those flowers are.
Is that like a white thistle or something?
Thistle or straw flower looks really similar to that, but I'm not positive what that is.
If anyone knows, let us know out there what the white mystery flower is here at the secretary's office. I always like this one because it's got the inscriptions etched in the brick here. I see dates from the 18th and 19th century. Here's one right here. It looks like it's 1761 maybe. See 1775. Various initials everywhere. And I'll take a walk down here. I really like just walking around this building. Any time of year you're here. It's such a historic place. It's an original building. And it's packed full of history. Like I said, it's the place where they would store records after the Capitol had burned down. But if you come to the back of it, you get a good glimpse of the public jail with its door wide open. The place where every criminal in Williamsburg dreaded if they broke the law. It's a really nice festive wreath set up once again at the secretary's office.
Located behind the famous millinery shop in the city is the Liberty Lounge, a space honoring those who have served the nation. Its entrance gate wreath in 2025 offers a creative take on patriotism, liberty, and the old world charm of a colony striving for independence.
And here's one that I really like to see every year. It's got the patriotic feel to it. If you've served our nation, you can enter inside the lounge.
And it always includes like really patriotic elements.
It looks like they have a fife and drum and a tricorn hat.
And there's some of that fabric, I'm not sure, but it's red, white, and blue, kind of symbolic.
Yeah. And hey, look, it's that mystery flower. That white mystery flower.
I don't know what exactly that is.
Yeah. So they always do a really nice job here. And another really cool thing here is the dog bowl they always put out. So if you have a furry friend with you, you can stop by the Liberty Lounge and get them a sip of water. All right, let's walk back here and see what they've got on the outside of the Liberty Lounge.
As we walk through the gate, back toward the building that houses the lounge to get a closer look at its wreaths, it was nice to see that those who dedicated their lives to the service of others have a special access refuge where thirsty heroes can kick back, reflect on their service, and honor the memory of those who are gone.
You've got wreaths on the windows as well as on the side of the building here. What do we have here, Sarah?
And it kind of plays on the one that we saw outside on the fence. It's still very patriotic. And combines like a lot of different elements in it.
Yeah.
It almost looks like it's cinnamon up there.
Yeah, it could be a cinnamon stick attached to the clapper. It looks like some twigs make up the bell.
That same fabric that's
red, white, and blue. Very patriotic, and a evergreen base for the wreath. And I like this too. I like the punch tin decoration here with the star pattern in it. Almost like a candy cane border.
It does look like that.
And even more of the mystery flower. And if I'm not mistaken, there's going to be one here in the back of the Liberty Lounge as well. Kind of a smaller version of it with the same theming.
It's all cohesive, they all kind of work together.
Same cinnamon stick with the clapper. Yeah, that actually is a piece of string. I like this little covered area on the backside of the Liberty Lounge. Take notice to all brave and well-disposed patriots. Liberty Lounge is open to veterans, to armed forces, and their families. And this would be a comfortable little hideaway to sip on a drink and just relax and take in the Virginia air during the holidays. here's one I always enjoy seeing every year outside the Mary Stith house. But I learned something about this little guy right here, this little mouse. And apparently the rosemary around that little guy is in remembrance of a Williamsburg wreath designer that just recently passed away in 2025. And from what I understand, her husband actually brought some rosemary from their garden and asked that it be incorporated within this wreath. So this is in memory of her, which is a pretty touching thing to see and think about. And the many wonderful wreaths she was probably a part of for many years here in Williamsburg that people pass by at Christmas time. And this little guy and this little rosemary is a symbol of all the years she put in dedicating her talents to designing wreaths in the city that everybody loves.
For over 40 years during the 1700s, a woman named Catherine Orr lived inside this home. After her husband's death, it was here where she once allowed William and Mary students to stay, and also taught enslaved students from the recently restored Bray School. Today, the Christmas wreaths and windowsill decorations that are on display are a vibrant reflection of a Colonial Williamsburg designer's instinct to reach new heights in holiday-inspired wreath making each year.
Look at this, Sarah. So we've got like a woven basket as the centerpiece, overflowing with...
Those look like those little lady apples.
Yeah, and that might even be a Granny Smith and a Red Delicious behind it. But I guess that's kind of like symbolizing a year of plenty, overflowing with abundance.
Abundance, yes, for sure. It almost looks like it's a heart shape.
And are those magnolia leaves at the top?
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. The Colonial windowsill swag found below the windows looks very similar in appearance to the main entryway. All kind of organic elements at the Catherine Orr house, an original building in Williamsburg. Now come on, Sarah, because I believe on the side of the house there's actually a really interesting and creative wreath that we need to get a closer look at.
At the east end of her house, prior to our visit, some online photos revealed an almost mythical wreath that I was excited to locate. When I realized it was here at the Orr house, we didn't hesitate to take a closer look, as it vaguely reminded me of something seen in one of my all-time favorite films.
And look at this.
Oh wow, that's so creative.
Yeah, it's like a thick corded rope that makes out like the trunk of a tree and branches of an apple tree.
Yeah, and its roots.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
It kind of matches the fictional world of J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings and looks similar in appearance to the flag of Gondor.
Yeah, that emblem.
Yeah,
it does.
The white tree and the stars above it. So who would have known the world of hobbits, elves, wizards, and the strongest men of Middle-earth would find their way into the inspiration of Colonial Williamsburg wreath makers.
Be represented here.
Yeah, or at least in my mind.
And although I'll probably mention this a few times too many throughout our day of wreath watching, this was one of my favorites thus far. On the north-facing doorway of the William Lightfoot kitchen found along Duke of Gloucester Street, Perhaps only in our minds, another Middle-earth inspired wreath caught our eye as we peered from behind the skirting bushes surrounding the building.
Okay, now I really like this one.
Yeah, this one is gives you such an earthy feel because it looks like somebody just went in their backyard and put it together. It combines so many elements that you would just be able to pick up and see.
Yeah, it's definitely got an earthy tone with all the branches and twigs surrounding it in kind of like a rectangular shape.
Almost like a picture frame.
You have a picture frame and it's surrounding that boxwood leaves. And I'm not sure what that is in the middle. It's some sort of a dried pine cone or sea pod or something.
I'm not sure.
Potentially drawing inspiration from the Gondorian-style wall wreath found on the neighboring Catherine Orr house, as well as blending elements of fantasy and mythical wreath design. This organic arrangement seemed to have leaped straight from the pages of a woodland realm of Mirkwood storybook.
There isn't any fruit or anything. It's pine needles and just, it looks like sticks from your yard.
Yeah, I really like that one. I love the earthy vibe. You know?
Me too.
Even the window garnishes look very earthy. Almost like a little elf could live inside.
Perhaps in another lifetime, the building itself served as the alternate cooking quarters of Legolas, son of Thranduil, the elven king of a vast forest in Middle-earth. Once a store before becoming a tavern in 1770 and managing to stay open through the hardships of the Revolution, the Market Square Tavern in Colonial Williamsburg is now known for its tremendous display of holiday sophistication each Christmas season. From the swirl of evergreen roping down its tall signpost, to the fruits and natural elements fused into all the decor found on the property. This year's wreath, hanging on the entrance porch, stood out as a peak of creativity and hospitality.
This, I think, is one of my favorites. It's so creative and unique, and you see all the wreaths that incorporate a pineapple. They didn't use an actual pineapple, they made the pineapple out of different elements.
Yeah, and look at what is behind this netting. That is a sweet gum ball.
Those are sweet gum, the seed pod kind of. That's what has the seed inside of it.
Yeah. It looks like they've got some ceramic tankards with cinnamon sticks. And is that moss or is that the lichen?
That kind of looks like that lichen.
Yeah, what else we got on this one?
This wreath smells really strong.
It's probably
too.
that cinnamon.
There's tobacco. Do you see that tobacco in the pipes?
Yeah, so tobacco and pipes, and I'm not sure what those little round berries are. Pomegranates and lady apples. It's got a little bit of everything. And look what's tucked underneath here. It's the golden yarrow. Or at least what we think is the golden yarrow, or yellow yarrow.
Yeah, they did a really amazing job on this one.
The sweeping pine roping on the banister is always a nice touch too. And something you'll find on nearly every other house along Duke of Gloucester and any side street here.
And there's even a smaller version up on the other door.
Yeah.
On the other door.
And the same thing up here, Sarah. Looks like they've got the pineapple centerpiece as well as some of the same fruits that are found on the main wreath.
Oh wow, and that one is incorporating seashells. You see the shells and those holly berries. Lots of dried citrus and those lady apples.
Yeah, I see some holly and some miniature either tangerines or oranges with slits. So everything definitely matches. And that is always what they do, it seems like, during the holidays. They know how to fit everything together to make sure nothing is too set apart from one decoration to the other. All right, so let's head down this alleyway on Queen Street and see if we can find anything off Nicholson. As everyone knows, it's not just Duke of Gloucester that has wonderful wreaths during Christmas time. It's also the side streets and the alleyways where you can often find hidden gems. Let's see what we can discover. And there is the gate to the Red Lion. And you can see the Peyton Randolph house over there, as always during the holidays, sporting a double wreath on the front door. That's definitely a place we've covered quite a few times in the past. All right, so here we are at Nicholson Street. You want to see if we can find anything that sticks out and gives us some holiday cheer?
Yeah.
Now, already I'm noticing something, and this is after many years coming to Williamsburg. But Sarah, look at this house in the middle here. Like, look at the roof on that.
Oh, that's different.
That is one interesting little house or building.
They're very tiny.
But also, being this time of the year, catching the wreath that it's got outside its wall. Let's go take a closer look.
While the middle building's holiday wreath drew us closer for a better look, I couldn't help but admire the small building itself. Its simple one-windowed facade and distinctive roof, topped with a decorative ball finial, made it impossible not to admire.
Real quick, I mean, look at the roof. It's sloped and just a really high-pitched roof. But this wreath is definitely an organic-looking wreath. Some sort of red bulbed vegetable at the top of some sort. What is that?
I have no idea what that is. It almost looks like it's something that would have been painted, but I see it has a stem, so I am not sure what that is.
And if these are artichokes, they may have been painted. There's also a couple mystery pieces of vegetation. I'm not sure if this is some sort of vegetable that's been hollowed out that has these, what appear to be like a brownish petaled flower almost. Let's go find out what house this is a part of.
Sold to Colonel John Taylor II, 1759, by Dr. James Carter, a surgeon of Williamsburg. The Taylor House and its other buildings on the property showcase both unique architecture and festive wreath craftsmanship.
Here we go. We've got a wreath out here too.
Oh, I love that one. That looks like peacock feather.
Looks like we've got some greenery here too. Various greenery. Might be cedar and evergreen, as well as some little berries. So there you go. The John Taylor house. Now there's another house over here. I'm sure these are all probably interconnected to the main John Taylor house. Let's see what the wreath over here looks like. Oh, look at this there. That's colorful.
That is colorful.
I mean, you can spot that from probably the street. What is this? Some more decorative tangerines or limes with slits in them.
Oh, that artichoke looks oddly bright.
Yeah, that has to be painted lime green.
This look like regular sized pomegranates, some of those oyster shells.
Some more cedars intermixed and a couple pipes at the bottom. So another good looking wreath at the, what I believe is part of the Taylor house. John Taylor II. Lots of holiday decor around every corner, it seems like. Some of the places lesser known, still holding a vast history that don't get as much attention as some of the places along the main street. But nonetheless, these places are extremely historical.
As we began to travel to the next lot over, a horse and carriage elegantly galloped past, adding a touch of colonial charm to the streets, all the more magical at Christmas time.
All right, and right next to the Taylor house is the cabinet maker, also on Nicholson Street. And this is definitely a scenic place to come explore if you're ever in Williamsburg.
Bought for over £200 on August 8, 1756, from Thomas Everard, Anthony Hay, a cabinet maker, once lived here and used the house and the land as his cabinet maker's shop and timber yard. Just over a decade later, he purchased the Raleigh Tavern and began renting out the shop to a well-known local of the city, Benjamin Bucktrout.
Really rustic looking area. I love the stream down here. It's nice and peaceful listening to the sound of it. And this flows right underneath the cabinet shop itself, right in front of this Chinese parasol tree. You can see down there's a spacing underneath it where that stream flows and has flowed for many centuries. And here's the first wreath on the entrance door.
Oh, I love this one. It's so vibrant with that golden or yellow yarrow that we think that is. Lots of dried citrus, so it just really kind of highlights that color.
And it looks like it's got even more oyster shells, which is a popular thing to put within a wreath, and more than likely they probably come from the nearby James or York rivers. All right, let's go down here and see, because we get to cross over this bridge that I love. You can stop right here and just meditate for a second and get some peaceful energy in you, listening to that for a few minutes. If you look there, the sun's trickling down on the water. The winter sun gleaming on the stream underneath the Anthony Hay shop, the cabinet maker shop. And even over here, a little more of a gentle flow, but nonetheless still equally relaxing in a peaceful, shady area tucked away off the main street of Colonial Williamsburg.
Away from the hustle and bustle.
Yeah, little peaceful hideaway. And one interesting story I've read through online research is there was once a leg of a chair found within this stream when they were doing the archaeological excavations here. And they believe that was an original chair from the old Anthony Hay shop. It could have been Anthony Hay working here then, or perhaps Benjamin Bucktrout, who I believe he rented this shop too at some point. But that chair leg was found within this stream, and I believe is now in the art museum in town.
The chair leg was a roughly hewn piece about 10.5 inches long, made of walnut, pulled from the shop site, along with many other pieces, tools, and materials.
All right, so let's go check out the wreath at the front of the shop, get a closer look of it. It definitely looked like an interesting one from the road. And there it is.
Oh, and this one is doing kind of like what a lot of the other buildings do. It incorporates what the building is about inside of it. So
Yeah.
those look like essential tools that a cabinet maker would use, those hammers.
Yeah, they got two hammers strapped together with what looks like a leather strap of some sort. And even more of the oyster shells.
And it's decorated with those really pretty orange and yellow flowers.
Yeah. And even right here, you've got another one that rings that natural vibe. What is that? Is that the miniature orange or tangerine with slits?
Yes, and the snail shells might be because of this creek here.
Oh, so these are
maybe.
snail shells?
I think so.
Yeah. And you can see this is where that stream comes underneath the road and actually flows all the way beside the house, right underneath the building. And what's even neater is that is not just based out of a choice that they wanted to come up with due to their preference of how they wanted to look. That was based on archaeological proof that that stream flowed right there underneath the hay shop.
And these were the trees I was talking about that line the palace green. You can see those kind of like bean pod or seed pods that come off the trees, and if you look up you can see some still hanging on the trees.
Yeah,
but
sure enough.
Like they incorporate that a lot into
that is those. So that's where they're getting that element of the Christmas wreaths.
Situated at the corner of Prince George Street and Palace Green, near the Governor's Palace in Colonial Williamsburg, is the property of coachmaker Elkanah Dean, who purchased the home for £700 back in 1772.
These look, just from what I can see from here, like another kind of creative set of wreaths that don't really look like any of the other ones.
Yeah, let's go in for a closer look and see if we can dissect it.
The wreath on the entrance door of the house reflects the precision and artistry of his trade, every part of it carefully arranged to echo the skill with which he crafted his coaches.
And look at this.
Oh, wow. It's got horseshoes. This has a lot of different elements to it.
And then what are these, little miniature pine cones?
That's what it looks like. And they've got artichokes, pomegranate. That looks like a sunflower, which I haven't seen that yet in any other wreath.
So what it looks like is those are the spokes of a wheel.
Oh, it is a wheel.
Yeah. And definitely a wreath that matches the trade itself. And look at the centerpiece. What is this flowering, petal-looking flower in the middle?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen that either, so that's two.
Almost looks like a miniature sunflower of some sort. So if you're out there and you know what that is, don't hesitate to let us know, because, like I said, each year me and Sarah build our vocabulary of terminology for Colonial Williamsburg wreaths, and we need your help. All right, Sarah, let's walk down here and see if we can get a closer look at the entranceway wreath. And it appears up there, it's also a wheel. And what does that look like? That's some sort of thick roping tied to the wheel part, which is an evergreen base of the wreath.
And I can't tell if that in the middle that makes a circle might be like burlap or something that they've kind of layered around itself to make a circle, but lots of horseshoes in that one.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And it's got like evenly spaced artichokes going around the wheel itself, and it looks like they're attached by leather straps to the main wheel part. And even up here on the windows, it's mimicking what we're seeing on the front entranceway as well as the front door.
Yeah, using elements from the wreath that's on the top and on the door.
Yeah. And all the wreath makers, when they're designing these for these colonial homes, they're definitely extremely mindful to make sure they match in appearance and nothing, sticks out like a sore thumb as far as differences in appearance.
Making our way further down Palace Green to the next lot over, we approach the old one-room apothecary shop of Dr. Kenneth Mackenzie, surgeon and apothecary in mid-18th century Williamsburg. His little shop, built sometime before 1755, soon greeted us with this year's holiday decor, an arrangement that carried a bit of seasonal perplexity, soon to be unraveled by Sarah's sharp mind.
And that's different because it's like inside of a frame almost.
Yeah, so you've got one on the bottom and one on the top. The one on the top, it has an evergreen base. It's not the typical circular wreath, but it's kind of a arrangement. It's including, it looks like various apples. You got Golden Delicious. I see a Granny Smith and some of the smaller lady apples. And then it's also got a mixture of bottles there that were probably once filled with medicines, symbolizing that it used to be an old apothecary in the 18th century. But look down here. What's going on in this one?
It almost looks as if those are, it's like an overhead look of sheep in the field, and the cotton is like the sheep. That kind of in a field.
I think you're right. So it's an overhead perspective.
Yes, so and it looks like that might be their little water bucket.
It's an overhead perspective looking down, and the field that they're walking on is like a spongy type moss.
Yes.
Little flowers arrangements throughout it.
That's the most creative one. I
think this is definitely the most creative one.
Another beautiful arrangement, complementing the others, hung just to the left of the shop's 16-light window, draped in pine garland. This time, seeming to fuse even more floral and fruit pieces into its rich medley of color and greenery.
That is a sunflower, I believe, right there, right?
Yes.
So more sunflowers and the golden yarrow.
And that burgundy flower, I don't remember seeing that a whole lot today. That might be that celosia. I'm not
Celosia? Yeah, we definitely haven't seen that one a lot on any of the wreaths. And more of that mystery needle at the bottom there and the top. So definitely some amazing festive holiday decor found at the apothecary on Palace Green.
Each festive display throughout the city reminded us of all the fascinating sights we'd taken in during the day. As we walked, I couldn't help but notice how even the smallest touches, big or small, showed not just the spirit of the season, but also the care and personality of the people who made them and the homes they decorated. And with that, our Colonial Christmas wreath tour ended, leaving us with the simple pleasure of a day well spent among the season's most charming creations. And yet, our journey together is still not quite complete. As a special gift for everyone out there, a bonus wreath awaits on the wall of a small kitchen house in town. A December 1939 archaeological dig at the southeast corner of the Duke of Gloucester and Nassau Streets revealed the foundations of a building that once had two adjoining fireplaces at its center, evidence pointing to a structure built for cooking and kitchen work. The house passed through different hands over time, originally built and occupied by Charles Taliaferro somewhere around the mid-18th century, and later purchased in 1804 by Jesse Cole, whose family retained it until it became part of the modern historic preservation effort. The Christmas wreath on the exterior wall of the Taliaferro Cole kitchen house reflects that history, a cheerful tribute to kitchens past and the generations who cooked, baked, and filled the air with sense of the season, inviting us to imagine the bustling aromas behind those walls.
This one's decked out with just about everything. You see wheat and fruit, bonnets and big leaves and tea bags and wooden spoons. It's ready for the holidays and all its joyful glee.
Those almost look like cookies, don't they? Doesn't that
Yeah.
look like a cookie?
It does look like a cookie. You like it?
Yeah, I love this one.
Got a little woven basket and some
A
grapevines.
whisk. See the whisk?
Oh yeah, a little whisk.
A cookie cutter.
Cookie cutters? Where's the cookie cutter?
right there. See the cookie cutter?
Oh yeah, cookie cutter. Oh look, the kitchen's written with the cookie backdrop.
I think those are cookies.
They gotta be cookies or some sort of biscuit.
Oh, maybe it's a biscuit.
Maybe it's a flat biscuit. Hey, who's this little guy? See, another little mouse.
Looks like he's made out of acorns and a sweet gum ball.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of people use sweet gum
Yeah.
balls.
And once again, the window decoration complements the main arrangement. Pretty interesting on our little wreath tour.
And with this final wreath, our holiday adventure together really does end here. But never forget, the sights, smells, the spirit of the season will linger on until we soon meet again. Merry Christmas, everyone.